Hari Om. Let us chant the last 10 verses of chapter 9, starting from verse 25. Yanti deva vrita devan, pitran yanti pitra vritaha, bhutani yanti bhutejyaha, yanti madhyajinopi mam, patram pushpam phalam toyam, yo me bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhakti upahritam, ashnami prayatatmanaha, yat karoshi yadashnasi, yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madatpanam, shubha shubha phalairevam, मोक्ष्यसे कर्म बंधनैः संन्यास योग युक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुधुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थ व्यपाश्रित्य येऽपि स्युर्पापयोनयः स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्राः तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणा पुण्याः भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तः मध्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैष्यसि युक्त्वैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः।
ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Up to now, he is saying, I take care of your yoga and take care of your kshema. Yoga kshema mahamyam. He said, I take that responsibility. Vahamyaham. In verse number 22. I'm going a few verses backwards. I know we have to do 30 and we have to move on to 31. So just to summarize what has been happening till now. 22, he says, Vahamyaham. I give you yoga, I grant you yoga, I grant you kshema. So when he says, I give you, what he means is, I have taken up the responsibility. your welfare is my responsibility. And since I have taken up since I have taken up the responsibility of your yoga and kshema, what you need to do? Stop worrying. Okay. If I have to take care of your yoga and kshema, what should you do? You have to do something. No. Only if you do something, your yoga and kshema becomes my responsibility. So when Krishna says, I am taking up responsibility, it comes with a condition. What is that condition? The condition is this: as long as you are doing what you ought to do, your yoga and kshema, I am taking care. Ananya chintayando ma mejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshema mahamiham. Paryupasate. Paryupasate means dedicating everything to me. If you do, you don't have to worry about your yoga. You don't have to worry about your kshema. If you are not dedicating, you have to worry about your yoga and kshema. So he says you have a choice. You dedicate it to me. Your yoga and kshema is my responsibility. You do not dedicate it to me. You are responsible for your yoga and kshema. If you are a wise person, what will you do? If you are a wise person, what will you do? You will give your responsibility of yoga and kshema to that person. And here the Lord is saying, I am taking responsibility. What is your problem? And then he went on to describe the devotees, the bhakti, and all that, etc. Even if you go to other gods, you get that. You come to me, you get me. You go to other gods, you get that. You come to me, you get me. When you go to other gods, you only get that. You come to me, including the other gods, you get everything. That is yoga and kshema. You go to other gods, you get only that. You will not get everything, because no god has the power to grant you the whole package. They all are given only one specific tasks. So they will give you that. Lakshmi is given the specific task of wealth. You can't go to Lakshmi and ask for health. Saraswati is given the task of knowledge. You can't go to her and ask for, I have so much of knowledge, but why wealth is not coming? Saraswati will say, this is not my department. You have to go to the other department. So each and every god has a specific department. You worship them, you get that. But other things you will not get. You come to me, it's a whole package. What the other gods grant you, that also I give you. Why? Because I have given them those powers to give. So you come to me, all are included. How do you come to me? Satatam kirtayantaha, etc. All that he spoke. And the last verse that we were studying is, okay, even if you have been living a life of durachara, even if you are living a life of durachara, I will consider you also as my devotee, provided you have changed your direction. That's where we were studying last. Verse number 30. What is achara? He is using the word achara. Opposite of achara is durachara. Now, if you have to understand durachara, you need to understand what is achara. You ask some of the orthodox people, achara means, they will say, you should not touch the clothes, that's all. If the clothes is washed and put on the line, you should not touch the clothes. As long as you are not touching the clothes, that is called achara. That is not the definition of achara. It is inclusive of that, but it is not that. What is achara means? The two disciplines of yama and niyama is called achara. What is achara? The two disciplines. The two disciplines of yama and niyama. And then you will ask, sir, what is that list of yama and what is that list of yama and niyama? That comprises achara. Durachara means no discipline. Achara means discipline. That's all. Even an indisciplined person, that indisciplined person will be a wicked person. That's why he says, even if a very wicked person, durachara. Now, for that, you need to understand what achara means. In Vedic, in Vedas and Vedanta, achara means the two disciplines of yama and niyama. Whoever practices this discipline, yama and niyama, is practicing achara. Sir, this yama, niyama and all is too much. No, but if you look at the list of yama and niyama, looks like nothing can be practiced. Because we keep bargaining. We want to compromise, isn't it? Vivekananda said, there are two types of people, he said. All human beings can be categorized into two types. One who lifts themselves up for the sake of the ideal, other who brings the ideal down. He says, all human beings are of two types only, he says. One set who can lift themselves up for the sake of the goal. Others bring the ideal down. Why? But sir, it is not practical, no, sir. It's not, it's impractical disciplines and all. How does it work? That too, in the modern technology era, how it will work. That too in 2023, how it will work. Whether it is 2023 or 2023 or 2023, yama niyama is the same. Or 40,000 years back also it is the same. So achara means living a disciplined life. So even if a person who is indisciplined has rightly resolved to follow achara, I take care. Doesn't matter where you are, but as long as you have taken the right resolve. What is the right resolve? The right resolve is to follow the life of achara, and the life of achara means yama and niyama. Yama literally means not Lord Yama. 5 do's and 5 don'ts. Avladha. Anju sayno, anju say gudad. That's all yama and niyama is. Yama means don't. Niyama means do's. Do's and don'ts. What is this list of yama and niyama? We don't call it as do's and don'ts in Vedanta. We call it as vidhi. Vidhi na fate kadayadu. Vidhi na law. Vidhi na law. Thala vidhi sar sollakudadu, isn't it? It's not fate. It is law. Yama and niyama are laws that has to be followed. Okay. What is yama? Ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, aparigraham. This is yama. And what is niyama? Shaucham, santosham, swadhyayam, tapas, Ishvara Pranidhanam. Patanjali in the Yoga Shastras, Yoga Sutras, it's not Shastra, Yoga Sutra it is called. In Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he defines what is Achara. And that list of Achara comprises this Yama and Niyama. From this list of Yama and Niyama, Dharma Shastras elaborated into each and every facet of life. This is how from Durachara you become Achara. From Durachara, how do you turn? You start following Achara. What is following Achara means? Follow the discipline of Yama and Niyama. And what is this Yama and Niyama? First, we will briefly see Yama, Ahimsa. Every few months, we keep repeating this list. Don't worry. Every few months, we keep repeating it. And every time you hear, it looks like fresh only, isn't it? Our objectivity to the knowledge is unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah. Yama and Niyama. So first thing, Yama is what? The first discipline of Yama is Ahimsa. Avoiding physical, verbal, mental injury. What does Ahimsa means? Avoiding injury, avoiding causing injury at the level of thought, word, and deed. What is called as physical, verbal, mental. So, first achara is what? Avoid causing injury, avoid causing harm. But I'm a vegetarian, sir. So I'm practicing ahimsa, no? That is one minor aspect, that's all. What is ahimsa means? Avoiding injury in all forms. Second is satyam. Satyam doesn't mean being factual. Satyam means a conviction of not living a hypocritical life. That is called living a life of satyam. Satyam means, Abdina, I speak the truth. Because so many situations in life, you cannot speak the truth, isn't it? Supposing somebody has hired a gunda, isn't it? Somebody has hired a gunda to murder. Okay. New Year murder New Year day, and we are supposed to start with, I don't know, Happy New Year. I don't know. Happy New Year. No. Happy New Year murder. So supposing somebody has hired a gunda to murder me, and by mistake that fellow has given to give my photograph. So that fellow doesn't know who I am. So I am sitting here. He comes to me and asks, are you Arvindan? I am a practitioner of Satyam. What will I say? What will I say? I am Arvindan. Next second, I will be in the photograph somewhere. No. So what will I do there? What will I do there? Arvindana, abhi yaarne enak theriyadhe. Is it life of Satyam or Asatyam? How would you categorize that? So what is Satyam? It's the second discipline of Achara. Satyam means no hypocrisy. Not a hypocritical life. That is a life of Satyam. Third is Asteyam. Asteyam. No, don't bargain. As long as you are not bargaining, that is practicing the Achara of Asteyam. But we have to get a fair deal, no, sir? We have to get a fair deal, no? Please get a fair deal. Yoga and Kshema is your problem then. You practice Asteyam, your yoga and Kshema is. Are you able to understand now? The difference. Purida. Sir, Hemandra Kuda, sir, Jagradi Arkamulla. Asteyam practice la Monaguda. I have to get a fair deal, no, sir. I should know how to. Negotiating skills, isn't it? Negotiating skills. And the negotiate பண்றதுக்குன்னு ரெண்டு பேர் கூட்டு போகணும், isn't it? When you go for a deal, you have to take a person who knows how to negotiate. Yeah. Krishna says, இதெல்லாம் வேணாம். You practice asteyam. See, why do you negotiate? For your yoga and kshema, correct? Why do you want to negotiate? For your yoga and kshema, you want to negotiate. Krishna says, simply practice asteyam. I am taking care of your yoga and kshema. That's why Swamiji keeps giving this example. At least don't bargain. Any benefit through an unfair deal comes under stolen benefit. It's a stolen benefit. And you can cover it, you can cover up stealing by calling it as negotiations, fair deal, etc. But you cannot cover up the law. The law says, okay, now that you are being very smart, you take care of your yoga and you take care of your yoga and kshema. Are you okay till now? Srikanth, Puridan. But you don't have the capacity to take care of your yoga and kshema. If you have the ability and capacity, where is the problem? You don't have that capacity at all. Therefore, might as well leave it to one who takes care. And he says, if you follow this achara, I will take care. So the third discipline is what? Any unfair deal is அப்படின்னா எல்லாமே unfair deal தான். Anyway, it doesn't matter. Simply the other may recognize it or not. Others may think it's a very smart thing. You may think that you have been very smart in negotiating, bargaining, and you got a fair deal and all that. You may think, the other may think, and both will say win-win situation. What is lost? In all this win-win situation, what is lost? Yoga and kshema is lost. Yoga and kshema is lost. How do you know yoga and kshema is lost? Fear, worry, anxiety, crying, sadness, with everything around, the person is sad. What is there to feel sad? There is no yoga, there is no kshema. The fourth one, brahmacharyam. What is brahmacharyam? Brahmacharyam is a practice of not celibacy. Brahmacharyam doesn't mean not getting married. Grihastha ashrama is an important facet of life, if they say, and then they say brahmacharyam you have to practice. Now both are conflicting and contradictory. No? Then what is brahmacharyam? Brahmacharyam is not doing anything that is inappropriate. Whatever your conscience tells us inappropriate, you don't do that. That is called brahmacharyam. The fifth one, romba kashtamana discipline. Aparigraham. Aparigraham means not accumulating that which is earned by virtuous, legitimate means. Aparigraham enna discipline adu? Venkatachalam, புரியுதா? Aparigrahamna திருடுறது இல்ல. Aparigraham means not accumulating, not possessing, though earned by virtuous, legitimate means. Whoever is following these five is half achara they are practicing. And what is that achara? Yama. Then comes the next achara, niyama. What is niyama? We gave the list already. What is niyama? Shaucham, purity. Purity implies a discomfort with dirt. Exaggeration of Shaucham is OCD. OCD, can't, oh my God, can't, all the time. All the time cleaning, washing, wiping. Or dirt will be there. The person crosses over and goes. Doesn't even register that it is. Isn't it? So what is shaucham? A discomfort with dirt. And when you have this discomfort with the dirt, you will start cleaning. Once you are used to cleanliness, dirt becomes unacceptable. That is called shaucham. Second is santosha. Santosha means contentment. Santosha doesn't mean joy. Actually, it should be called as tripti. Shaucham is cleanliness. Niyama. The first niyama is saucham. The second niyama is tripti. What is tripti? Tripti is a contentment with your present and never getting agitated, disturbed by comparing yourself with others. This is called tripti. That's why we say tripti arvanam first to this, isn't it? Then you aspire for higher and all that. That is a separate thing altogether. But in relation to the present, what you need to have? You need to have tripti. Tripti means contentment. And contentment means what? Whatsoever your current status is, you are contented with that and not losing the peace of mind by comparing yourself with others. All the time, what do? We keep comparing, isn't it? What does comparison means? Whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, others are doing, therefore, you also do. This is called comparing. Third is the next compulsory duty. Swadhyaya. Shaucham, tripti, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, scriptural study, is the next compulsory duty. Swadhyaya is called swa-adhyaya. Self-study. See, what is implied in self-study is under the guidance you study. All study is self-study only, isn't it? Then why do they specifically call it a self-study? They can simply say study, isn't it? Because all study is anyway self-study only. No. Then what is the adjective self here means? Swa-adhyaya means you study by yourself under the guidance. That is why in Vedanta, this self-help and all is not suggested at all. Randomly don't keep watching videos, randomly don't pick up books, randomly don't do all that. If you are doing that, you are violating the achara of swadhyaya. The fourth one is tapas. What is tapas? Very simple. Tapas means middle path. Tapas equals middle path. Nothing in excess. That is tapas. To move in extremes is very easy. To follow the middle path is very tough. Isn't it? New Year party. It's easy to indulge in the New Year party because anyway, Vaikunta Ekadasi is coming. So anyway, you will fast that whole day on that day. So one day you feast and then go to the other extreme of fasting. That is violating tapas. What is tapas then? Tapas is middle path. The fifth one is Ishvara Pranidhanam. Ishvara Pranidhanam is surrendering to the Lord, surrendering to God. And we have seen it any number of times. Surrendering to God means the law. Surrendering to God means surrendering to the law. What is the law? The universal, the moral law and order. You surrender to that. surrendering implies what? Surrendering to the law means what? Surrendering to the God is not as surrendering to the law. Now, what is surrendering to the law means? Obeying, obedience. Obeying the law is surrendering to the law. Violating the law and going and surrendering to God doesn't make any sense. You violate the law and go on, I am surrendering to God. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because God is symbolic of law. God is symbolic of law, just as the national flag is made up of cloth and a stick, isn't it? When you worship the national flag, you are not worshipping the cloth, you are not worshipping the stick. Correct? National flag has the cloth, and also it has a stick. When you are saluting the national flag, are you saluting the stick? Are you saluting the cloth? Even though it is a stick, even though it is made up of cloth, what does the flag represent? There is the law of the country, and you are, as a citizen of the country, you should follow the law, isn't it? What is the minimum law of the country? Ore law of the country. What is the law? No. What is the law of the country? Pay the taxes. What is the law? There is no other law. There is only one law. What is that law? Pay the taxes. Sir, I'm paying the tax, but the government is not doing anything in return. No, the roads are still bad only. The roads are still full of potholes. Then what is the point of paying the tax? Anyway, I pay the tax. They are pocketing the money. You obey the law, your yoga and kshema will be taken care. Even if you are driving on a pothole, you will not get a backache. Your yoga and kshema will be taken care. That's what it means. You do the tax planning and everything. Getting up from the bed, you will have a backache. It's there is Ishvara Pranidhanam, means what? Obeying the law. And what is obeying the law means? Surrendering to Lord means surrendering to law. And what to surrender to law means not worshipping the book of Constitution, isn't it? Oh, surrender. What do? I keep the Constitution book at home, and every Saraswati Puja, I do that puja and put it back in the shelf. That is not surrendering to the whoever practices these disciplines is following achara. Yeah. Now we come back to verse number 30. Durachara means whoever has not followed any of this. Whoever has not followed any of this, if that person has rightly resolved, if that person has taken the decision to follow the life of achara, that person's yoga and kshema becomes my responsibility. That person's yoga and kshema becomes my responsibility. This is verse number 30. What it means is what? Your present status is not important. Is your direction right? Instead of going into this yama, niyama, all this is too complicated, sir. What is he? Make it very complicating. What is simple? In the spiritual journey, your present status is not important. The direction that you take is important. Number one. Number two, Any number of times you will fall. Again, that is also not a problem. How quickly you bounce back? Only two factors. Again, I repeat. The first factor is your present status doesn't matter at all. It is the direction that matters. Second is it is implied that you will fall. It is understood that you will fall. Why? Because temptations are still there. Weaknesses are still there. Temptations are still there. You will fall. The Shastra doesn't punish you for fall. Shastra says you will be punished if you don't bounce back. Please understand that. The law doesn't punish you for falling. The law says you will suffer if you don't bounce back. But nobody wants to bounce back. Nobody wants to bounce back because bouncing back requires effort. No. Nobody wants to bounce back. Why? Because bouncing back requires effort. Therefore, he says, even if a durachara person, he has rightly resolved, since he has rightly resolved and following the achara, the yama, the niyama, etc., he will be considered as a righteous person when? He will be considered as a righteous person when? Now. Not that he is going to become righteous in the future. Krishna says, whoever has resolved that, I consider that person to be righteous today, now. Therefore, all that you got to do is what? From durachara, practice achara, and how many ever times you slip, bounce back. How many ever times you slip, you bounce back. Slipping is not a problem. Not bouncing back is the problem. What will give you the motivation to bounce back? The higher power is taking care of the yoga and kshema. All that I got to do is what? Do the right thing. If you are not dependent on, if you are not understanding the higher power is going to give your yoga and kshema, where do you think your yoga and kshema lies? Sir, whatever Vedanta and all we are talking, temple, God, all that, sir. But financial security is very important, no? Krishna says, okay, now that you have decided your yoga and kshema, I will be a sakshi. Whenever you decide your yoga and kshema, God becomes a sakshi. Whenever you follow the achara, the life of yama and niyama, your welfare is God's responsibility. Now you have a choice. What is the choice? Should God be a witness to your life, or God, or the responsibility of your yoga and kshema is God's? What role you will want to play God in your life? What is the role that you like that God should play in your life? Sakshi or yoga kshemam vahamiham? Everybody will say, no Sakshi, sir. Yoga kshemam vahamiham. That's what I want. Very simple. That I can grant you very simply. Follow achara. Follow the life of achara. It is taken care of. This is verse number 30. Now we'll move on to verse number 31. 31 padi.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्त प्रणश्यति.
Soon he become righteous and attains eternal peace. O Kaunteya, know for certain that my devotee never perishes. Soon he become righteous and attains eternal peace. O Kaunteya, know for certain that my devotee never perishes. Me bhaktaha na pranashyati. My devotee never perishes. Perishes means that person will not know what sorrow, suffering, insecurity is. That's what it means. My devotee will not know a few things. What are the few things that they will not know? They will not know what insecurity means. They will not know what pain means. They will not know what suffering means. They will not know what fear means. Me bhaktaha pranashyati. Mati padikumbodhu me bhaktaha na pranashyati. You have to read na pranashyati means not destroyed. My devotee doesn't get destroyed. And who's my devotee? Even if you are a duracharaha and if you have started to practice achara, you have become my devotee, and after that you don't perish. Connected to the previous verse. Even if you are a suduracharaha, because of your right direction, you have become my devotee. Now he is saying, now that you have become my devotee, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Duratma, Dushtatma, then that fellow becomes Dharmatma. Beautiful words, no? These words are very beautiful. Duratma, Dushtatma. Where you will be known as Duratma, Dushtatma, you will now be known as Dharmatma. Why? What makes you to become Dharmatma? Because you have started to follow Achara. Because you have started to follow Achara and you have become my devotee. If you take to the right path, assurance is given here. Name pranashyati is assurance. Is the guarantee. Yeah, guarantee card problem, isn't it? When you buy anything, you ask for what is the expiry date? Isn't it? Everything has an expiry date. No, my devotee doesn't have any expiry date at all. Name pranashyati. My devotee doesn't have any expiry date at all. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Very soon, Arjuna, O Kaunteya, very soon this person will become Dharmatma. That is the transformative power of discipline. The transformative power of discipline is very soon you become. But the mind will not allow you to do that. Mind will say, cater to me, then I will allow you to follow discipline. How does it work? Isn't it? So everybody says we will cater to the mind, then we will follow discipline. So you cater to the mind and that catered mind will allow you to be disciplined. Huh? This is the fallacy in thinking. Are you able to follow? First the mind demands and you say no to the mind. And what the mind will do? Very simple, isn't it? The mind demands and you say no. What the mind will do? It will not allow you to get up from the bed. It will not allow you to do anything. Plan after plan you can make. Yeah, resolution after resolution you can make. New year after new year will come and go. resolution. Nothing moves. Why? Because you have trained what? Pamper to become disciplined. இதுதான் துஷ்டாத்மா, துராத்மா. துராத்மாவோட thinking என்ன? Pampering is the way to get disciplined. Dharmatma understands it rightly. You follow? Sir, once in a while you have to know what is wrong once in a while. And what is once in a while? What is once in a while? Every new year, huh? What is once in a while? Every day. Every day or half an hour porma? No. Every moment. Every moment pamper. If you pamper, I will cooperate. And you don't know what else to do. So what do? You start pampering. More you pamper, what happens? More you pamper, more the demand. More you have to pamper. So a time will come where அது வந்து இன்சென்டிவ் மாதிரி இது. Raj. Great lakes, small lakes, no lake, எல்லாம் ஒண்ணுதான், isn't it? Great lakes, என்ன கிரேட்? ஒன்னு கிரேட்னஸே இல்லை அதுல. ராஜ் போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் how can it be a great lake? பேரே மாத்திருக்கணும் அது. Great lakes. What is great lake? Incentive after incentive. A time comes where nothing will happen, isn't it? So in order to make the guy get up from the chair and come out to the இப்பெல்லாம் blackboard சொல்லக்கூடாது, smart board, isn't it? But nowadays they have smart boards. No, to make the fellow come and stand by the smart board, you have to give incentive. Each and every word you have to measure. இன்னைக்கு இவ்வளவு words பேசுனீங்களா, அதுக்கு இவ்வளோ I will pay you. Raj, சொல்லுங்க இதெல்லாம். They will think you are very smart. Number of words they speak, accordingly they will be paid. Non-stop they will talk, isn't it? From the house only they will start talking. Why? Pamper all that time. Pampering. That is called duratma, dushtatma. Arjuna, very soon you will become dharmatma. Very soon you will become dharmatma. Kaunteya pratijanihi. Beautiful word. இதெல்லாம் அந்த வருஷலே தான் இருக்கு இல்லையா? கௌந்தேய pratijanihi. Pratijanihi means, oh Arjuna, on my behalf, go and tell the world, my devotee never perishes. Kaunteya pratijanihi. Pratijanihi means roar, declare. How do you roar and declare? இதுக்கு தான் சார் நானும் ஒரு சண்டே கிளாஸ் எடுக்க ஆரம்பிக்கலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So if I also start a Sunday class, it will be Shailesh. Don't get all these dreams, sir. Don't get all these ideas now. Because Kaunteya Pratijani, oh Krishna himself has said, therefore I will also start roaring the truth. Bhavana and the kids will run away from you. As it is, they are not able to handle you. With all your lectures, as it is, they are finding it difficult to manage. Now Krishna has said in verse number 31, Kaunteya Pratijani, roar on my behalf. How do you roar on my behalf? By living that life, people look at you and say, how are you even managing a life like this? How are you even able to manage a life like this? You turn back and say, I am protected. I am taken care of. I am protected. By whom? By what? By the law. By God. Intellectual will say by the law. Devotion will say by God. Two sides to the same coin. That's all. Which side you want to see, you see. It doesn't make any difference. God is one side of the coin. The law is another side of the coin. The intellectual will want to see the side of law. The devotional will want to see the side of God. Doesn't matter, whatever side you see. That person, name pranashyati. What? Name bhaktaha pranashyati. My devotee shall never perish. My devotee will never suffer. Loudly you should declare. How? Because the devotee is experiencing. What is the devotee experiencing? What is the person who's following the achara, who's following the life of yama niyama experiencing? The person following the life of yama niyama is experiencing what? I am taken care. The yoga and kshema is experienced. Because of that yoga and kshema being experienced, that experience becomes a conviction to understand what? Name bhakta pranashyati. Because you are seeing, no, how much you are taken care of. Don't you see that? Don't you have eyes to see that how you are taken care of? That's what he's asking. Huh? I'm not saying. He's saying, don't you have eyes to see how you are taken care of? Arjuna, haven't you realized no arrow will hit you before passing me? Don't you realize that? Haven't you realized this fact of life? What is that fact of life? All arrows have to pass through me before hitting you. No, that is yoga and kshema. What is your problem? What are you worried about fighting? You are worried about fighting, killing, arrows hitting you and all that. But what you don't realize, who is there filtering everything? What goes out of you is filtered by me. What comes into you is also filtered by me. That person is Dharmatma and that person is always taken care of. Even literally also, Arjuna, I am protecting you. What is your problem? Correct? Even literally also I am protecting you. The fact that I have become your charioteer, what is your problem? I am sitting there. I have agreed to become your charioteer. What you should have done? What you should be doing? Namaskuru, do prostration first. Doing prostration first means saying thank you. With gratitude, start doing what you are supposed to do. The conches are blown. Bhishma has blown the conch, I blew the conch, all of the drums are, everything is ready. You are well protected. At that point of time, you are in that protected environment, you are sitting and crying. What are you sitting and crying? What are you sitting and crying? I am unsafe. I don't have anything. Solo vandalum, both ends are not meeting. End meet isn't it? Both ends are not meeting. My devotee never perishes. Beautiful line. Name bhakta pranashyati. The law is saying, you obey me. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha is the language of the intellect. Name bhakta pranashyati is the language of devotion. But the concept is the same. The language of the intellect is dharmo rakshati rakshitaha is the language of the intellect. The language of the emotion is what? Name bhakta pranashyati. But both means the same thing. I became your ambassador. I became your family's ambassador, isn't it? I have done everything. In a split second, my family he saw and he forgot everything. Isn't it? Right through, he was being protected. The whole family is being protected by right through. In a split second, what he saw in a split second? Matulan, Bratran, Shwasuran, isn't it? What he saw in verse number 25, chapter 1. Chapter 1, isn't it? Because every chapter takes 1 year for me to finish. We would have done chapter 1. And the chapter 1, verse number 25. Arjuna tells Krishna, place the chariot in between the two armies so that I can see the enemies clearly. Arjuna, Krishna, correct, place the chariot for I can see the enemies clearly. And you know where Krishna placed the chariot? Not like how they paint in pictures nowadays. Nowadays, how they paint in the pictures. One side Pandava army, another side Kaurava army, in between vacant space. In that vacant space, the chariot stands. No? Vyasa didn't write like that. Krishna drove the chariot into the Kaurava's army and stood in front of Bhishma and Drona. Because Bhishma and Drona were not standing in the front line. Where were they standing? Where were they standing? They were not standing in the front line. They were standing in the middle. So the chariot was driven through the Kaurava's army and placed the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona. And then Krishna told Arjuna, what? Look at the Kurus assembled here. Enemy on Arjuna, you said place the chariot in front of my enemy, you said. The entire battlefield I searched for your enemy. What did I see? What am I seeing? I'm not seeing any enemy at all here. What am I seeing? I'm only seeing the Kurus assembled here. Therefore, look at the Kurus assembled here. That one word Kuru, that's all. Arjuna started seeing Shasuran, Bratran, father-in-law, he started seeing there, isn't it? Because they were standing there, no, to fight. They were standing there, no. He saw everybody he saw. What he forgot? In that emotional state, what he forgot? He forgot the supporting factor. A person of achara, a person following dharma will never get that emotional forgetting the protector. Again, I repeat. Whatsoever the trying situation, whatsoever the crisis is, a person of dharma will never forget the supporting factor. And who's the supporting factor here? What is the supporting factor here? I am that supporting factor. Krishna saying, I am that supporting factor. And when I am there supporting you, what is your problem? Very soon you will become. Not only you will become, go and boldly declare to the society. What? My devotee never pratijanihi. Kaunteya pratijanihi. Pratijanihi means know for certain. Know for certain enna artham? You need not have any doubts at all. Know for certain means you need not have any doubts at all. Technically speaking, my devotee never perishes is a pratyaksha pramana. Pratyaksha pramanam means how sure you are that I am sitting in front of a machine. Where am I sitting? In my home. In my home I am sitting. I am sitting in front of the machine in my home and I am talking. How sure you are that you are seeing me talking? How sure are you? Is there a possibility of any doubt? This is knowing for certain, pratyaksha pramanam. This is knowing for certain. This is called pratyaksha pramanam. My devotee never perishes, Arjuna, is not a subject matter of faith. It's a subject matter of pratyaksha pramanam for my devotee. That's why that person says very clearly, he's taking care. No, what is your problem? You will turn around and say, where is he taking care? You will turn around and say, where is he taking care? Where is he taking care? Because what is pratyaksha pramanam for the devotee is fantasy for you. It looks like a fantasy for you. It looks like in a hopeless situation, it looks like giving you a hope in a hopeless situation. For a devotee, for a dharmatma, for the one who's practicing achara, I am protected is as clear as pratyaksha pramanam. Understand it like that. Know for certain, kaunteya pratijanihi. Know for certain or kaunteya means that person knows that it is protected. Like what? Like the pratyaksha pramanam. Like the pratyaksha pramanam. And what is the example of pratyaksha pramanam? You all understand that it's not a recorded class, it is a live one, no? Is there any doubt in that? Is there any doubt? How can you not have a doubt at all? How can you not have a doubt at all, Ganesh? It's so clear, no? Idella doubt patta, then we go mad only, no? Because it is so clear. It is so clear. 100% certain. For a devotee, I am protected. He is 100% certain. Therefore, my devotee doesn't know what is crisis at all. My devotee will not know what crisis at all. And we all know only crisis after crisis after crisis. We only move from one crisis to the other crisis. In between two crises, we take a break. And that break is called happiness holiday, isn't it? Crisis A and crisis B. Between crisis A and crisis B, there is a break. And that break is called holiday. Yeah. Avatar movie, isn't it? Avatar movie. Yeah. Sariyana Avatar, isn't it? It's a movie, no? Avatar movie. Between two crises, some break. My devotee doesn't know what crisis is. Since that person doesn't know what crisis is, that person never perishes. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma sashvat chantim nigacchati. Sashvat is grammatically you have to I'm not going to the grammar part of it. That Sashwat will be changed into Shashwatam, eternal. There are certain grammatical rules where Sashwat will become Shashwat. Now we are not doing that. We are not doing grammar class here. So that Shashwat is eternal. Eternal peace, Arjuna. What is eternal peace? You will not know what crisis. You will not know what crisis is. You lost everything. Is that not a crisis? No, it's not a crisis. Why? Because God is the result giver. And whatever He gives, karma pala data. He is the karma pala data. He is the result giver. And whatever He gives is your yoga and kshema only. Are you able to follow? Therefore, the devotee doesn't know what failure is. The devotee doesn't know what crisis is. Otherwise, we believe that, okay, I am devoted to God and God should give me success. And you go and you will go and tell God what is, and you will go and you will go and teach God what is success, isn't it? We all educate God on what is success. God says, I know better. Whatever comes to you, the devotee doesn't see it as a failure, doesn't see it as a pain at all. That is why for devotee, there's no such thing called crisis, there's no such thing called failure. Why? Because he is the result giver. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palehetur buhu ma te sangostva karmani. I am the result giver. Therefore, since I am the result giver, whatever I give you, it is for your yoga and kshema only. Sometimes it may appear to be successful. Sometimes it may appear to be a failure. Sometimes it may appear to be joy. Sometimes it will appear to be sorrow. But there is no joy. There is no sorrow. There is no success. There is no failure. There is only one thing. What? Shashwata Shanti. Only one thing I give. What is that only thing I give? Shashwata Shanti I give. What is that Shashwata Shanti? Not knowing what crisis is, not knowing what pain is, not knowing what sorrow is, not knowing what failure is. Because I am the result giver. When I am giving you the result, whatsoever I will give you is going to be, whatsoever I give is going to be beneficial for you only. How do you understand that? Chapter 4. Arjuna, you only know a small fragment of your present. I know the past, I know the present, I know the future. You see only a small fragment, but I see the entire picture. So in the entire picture, since I am seeing the entire picture, considering the entire picture, I always give the result. But you seeing only a small fragment gets carried away by that. Are you able to understand the difference now? In chapter 4, he said, no, I know the past, I know the present, I know the future. You only know a fragment of your present. Knowing the small fragment of your present, you are jumping. What? I know what is good, I know what is bad. I know what is right, I know what is wrong. Krishna says, don't get excited with all these things. Leave all that to me. Then what should I do? Abada. Simply I can sit without doing anything, no? Easiest thing I have given to you. What is the easiest thing I have given it to you? Yama, Niyama, Vratam I have given it to you. Achara you follow. Easiest thing is Achara. You follow Achara. What comes? Yoga and Kshema comes. My devotee never perishes. Never perishes. Such a beautiful conviction he is giving. Such a beautiful conviction. Name pranashyati. Also pratijanihi. Very important verses. Note பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க. When you are in depression, read verse number 31, chapter 9 அப்படின்னு. You are in depression, simply open that verse. My devotee never perishes. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. That person doesn't know. What he doesn't know, that person doesn't know suffering. I am taken care because I am the one who is taking care. The result giving Arjuna is like mother feeding you. She knows appropriate food. Clear. When to give liquid food, she will know. When to give solid food, she will know. When to give you the food that breaks your teeth, she will know, isn't it? She knows, correct? That's why Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord, Shastra, all are equated to mother. Amba Tvama Anusantatami Bhagavad Gita in the Dhyana Shlokas. Oh Mother Gita, I worship you daily. I worship you daily, not worshipping the book. I worship you daily, I'm doing Swadhyaya daily, isn't it? Oh Mother Gita, I study you daily. What is it? Like the mother gives proper food at the proper time, when you are 3 months old, she will give you this much. When you are 15 years old, she will give you a different type of food. When the whole mouth is cut open and stitched back, yeah. Even today, my mother will say, proper you eat only this food. I said, it's all over. Just, I want to indulge. Give me my food. I will tell her that. No, we will not. A mother that gave birth to the body is taking so much care. A mother that has given birth to this body of flesh and blood and bone is taking so much care means the Creator, the Lord, how much they will take care. Devotee understands that. The devotee understands that. If this person is taking care, the Creator takes care. That's all. The one who has created will take care, just as the mother takes care. Once we surrender, he takes care. So what is the fee? Surrender fee. You have to pay a fee. What is that fee? It's called surrender fee. Surrender fee is called bhakti. And what is bhakti means? Yama and following dharma. Bhakti fee. Surrender fee and following dharma is the fee. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. That's why each and every word, sometimes we don't take up so many words. Some of the verses we take up each and every word. And this word, each and every verse in this word is each and every word in this verse is very beautiful. Kshipram bhavati. Kshipram hi manushoy loke. Throughout the Gita, he keeps saying Kshipram, Kshipram, Kshipram. Kshipram means very soon, very easy. In a split second, the whole thing will change, Arjuna. In a split second, everything changes. That's called Kshipram. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Very soon you will become the dharmatma. And what is the benefit of becoming a dharmatma? Sashvada shantim. Sashvada shantim. Sashva shantim nigacchati. Arjuna is not calling Arjuna. Kaunteya. Kaunteya. Understand what? Pratijanihi. Pratijanihi means know for janami is knowing. Pratijanihi is so tempting to go into all these grammatical things and all, I'm avoiding. Yeah, pretty beautiful declension. Finally comes to say, know for certain. Like Pratyaksha Pramanam, it is Arjuna. It is a Pratyaksha Pramanam that I am taking care becomes a Pratyaksha Pramanam. When you are taking care, you become grateful. Correct? Understand the sequence. You are taken care. And when you know that you are taken care, what will you say? You will not call it, it's my right, sir. Na, clear. Next Janma, we will meet. What else to do after that? It's my right. No, after that, no talk only after that. Yeah. So, you are taken care. Immediately, what will you say? Vijay. What will you say? Correct. சும்மா ஸ்மைலியா போடக்கூடாது இல்லையா? இப்படின்னு சும்மா ஸ்மைலியா போடக்கூடாது இல்லையா? You will say thank you. After saying thank you, what will you do? After saying thank you, escape. After saying thank you, what? What can I do? Then what can I do is gratitude. Not thanking you is not gratitude. What can I do is gratitude. And Krishna says, and what does Krishna say? What is he saying now? Follow the life of Achara. In return, what is he asking you to do in return? You are asking him, what do I do? Sequence Prita. Shrikant. You understand that you are protected. You are taken care of. So what will you do? You will say, thank you. After saying thank you, you will not stop. You will not run away. After saying thank you, what will you do? You will ask, what do I do? What can I do? Correct? What do I do? What can I do? Krishna is not saying, give me this food, give me this dress. On my birthday, chant Sahasranama. He is not saying all that. What you should do in return? What you should do in return? Follow the life of Dharma Achara. Because I am protecting you. My protection is a conducive environment for you to follow Dharma and Achara. If you are not making use of that conducive environment, you pay the price. Are you able to follow now? I am protecting you. That protection is for what? For you to indulge? For you to get lazy? If you can use that protection in that way also. If you lose that protection, what will happen? You have to earn it back. And the way to earn it back is through very painful methods. Sorrow, suffering, pain, all that will come. Instead of getting into that wrong route, what is the right route? You are protected. Now that you are protected, what is your duty? So following Achara becomes your duty. Following Achara becomes your duty. Following Dharma becomes your duty. Following Dharma and Achara becomes your bounden duty. Niyatam kuru karmatvam Arjuna, chapter 3. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajahyo akarmanah. Do your bounden duty. What is my bounden duty? Follow Dharma, follow Achara. That is your bounden duty. That is how you show your gratitude. You are protected. How do you show your gratitude back? By following the life of Dharma and Achara. That devotee of mine, na pranashyati, me bhaktaha. These fellows are my devotees. they don't na pranashyati. Na pranashyati means they will not get destroyed. Kaunteya pratijanihi. Roar this truth from the rooftop. Roar this truth from the rooftop. Why? Because you know it for certain. How do you know it for certain? It is a pratyaksha pramanam for you. Yeah. I have repeated the same thing 25 times, sir. In the last 30 minutes, I didn't say anything new. Same thing I repeated for. Yeah, same thing I repeated. Same thing. 30, 45 minutes, I'm only repeating the same thing. Understand the sequence. You are protected. And you say, thank you. After saying thank you, what will you do? What should you do? What can I do? Further, Krishna is saying in return, what you have to do. What you have to do? Follow the path of dharma and achara. You follow the path of dharma and achara, you are taken care of. Name bhaktaha, me bhaktaha na pranashyati. How do you know that they don't perish at all? Because yoga and kshema I am granting, no? That's how you connect. How will they not perish? How can they perish? Because who's granting their yoga and kshema? Who's granting that? I am granting that. And who I am? I know the past, I know the present, I know the future. Looking at your entire life, I give results. Therefore, all that you got to do is what? Become my devotee. So become my devotee, na? We have to join Hare Krishna movement now, because they are only devotees, no? That is not becoming devotee. I'm not saying they are wrong. I'm not saying don't go there. I'm not saying that. That is not my devotee. What is my devotee? A person resolved to follow the life of dharma and achara. And what is achara? Yama and niyama. The person who has resolved to follow the life of yama and niyama and dharma becomes my devotee. And that is what I want in. That is the price. That is the fees you have to pay in return for the protection that I am giving you. Otherwise, you are abusing the protection. You are misusing the protection. When you abuse and misuse the protection, what will happen? You will lose it. That is destruction. Losing the protection is destruction. And then you have to painfully earn it back. Painfully you have to earn it back. Why do you want to do that again and again and again? Simply become my devotee and get Sashvata Shantim. Become my devotee and get the Sashvata Shanti. This is verse number 31. With this, we conclude for today, and we continue with verse number 32 onwards in the next session.